I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network, where tonight the stars and cars of the Sim Racers Club Premier Series are going to head down to their second to final, whatever it is, round of the season here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. My name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth, as always, by Mr. Patrick Byrne. We'll get to Bizzle here in just a moment, but we have got a fantastic championship battle shaping up here out on the racetrack. Heading into tonight's race, there is just a 10-point gap between this guy, Johnny Avila, and second place running Kevin Dick. And I'll tell you what, Patrick, we haven't really seen this in Sim Racers Club action in a couple of seasons, where things are going to be very tight coming down the stretch.
I know, usually someone just picks it up and runs away with it the whole season, but we've had a huge fight all year long. You've had Johnny Vila leading now, Tyler Seville leading early, then the Hurricane came along, Kevin Dick took the lead of the championship, and now they're all still fighting for it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, this one's going to be a lot of fun, and with only about a minute and 50 seconds left in the practice session heading into qualifications, there's some other storylines that we kind of have to look at here. In terms of qualifying, Kevin Dick has been fantastic. An average starting position of 3.57. He's winning the pole 39% of the time he's out on the racetrack. That is absolute insanity that we're getting out of Kevin Dick here.
Yeah, I mean, I consider myself to be a fairly decent qualifier, but a pole rate of 39%. Every 10 races he goes into, he's going to be on pole for 4 of them. And still in the top 5 for all of the rest of them. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's the scary part is, okay, some guys like Ryan Newman was the Rocket Man. But about half the time, he would be kind of a mid-pack guy. He was either on the pole or he was 10th to 20th in qualifying. Kevin Dick is just at the front all the time. It really is pretty impressive. Another guy that we have to talk about at least a little bit, he's not on the racetrack right now, but Andrew Moore Jr. We've been to this racetrack 5 times with the Sim Racers Club Premier Series, and there's 5 different winners, only one of whom is entered here tonight, and that is the 77 of Andrew Moore Jr. He took this race back in the spring, leading 44 of 117 laps. Avila was actually the leader with 49 laps led. Tyler Seville picking up 23. Hunter Waters got one as well. But Andrew Moore Jr. was the dominant car here back in the spring. You got to be thinking he's trying to repeat that here tonight. 4th quick in practice here as the session is wrapping up, and it will be time to go qualifying here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. 13 cars on the entry list for tonight's race, which is kind of what you would expect. Is towards the end of the season, the numbers start to fall off. But that also means you kind of can't let up at all if you're one of these guys towards the head of the field. It's really important to keep your car up towards the front of the line as much as possible.
Yeah, and a lot of times around here at Homestead, the high line is the fast line, but you don't want to go too high and bang that right side against the wall, because that'll slow you down faster than anything else.
Let's take a look here at some of the cars we're getting out onto the racetrack. We'll bring up the side-by-side, and we'll get the tower box up there for you as well so you can see where your favorite is running. We got Kevin Dick on the left-hand side of the screen. The fastest pickle in the South, Hunter Waters out of Boonville, Indiana. I know Indiana's not in the South, but it's an old stroker race joke. Deal with it, people. The Law Chevrolet Buick Hunter's Fried Pickles entry. Yes. Okay. We'll go that route. The 52 of Kevin Dick out of Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. Custom paints and die-cast Northland. Leisure Mint Mortgage on the side of that machine for Pie-Eyed Racing. They're going to be among the first to get a lap on the board. Johnny Avila also out on the racetrack as well. Let's see what lap number 1 looks like here for Kevin Dick. He'll be the first one on the board, and he will be your quick time at a 34:077. Quick and only time to this point. Hunter Waters, second car to trip the timing lights. He goes quick time, 34:056. Only 2/100ths of a second separating those two as Thomas Wilhite now moves to the top of the board. Andrew Moore Jr. going to pop into second at a 33:926. Wilhite at a 33:919. Pretty good lap time there, and it is only about 100th of a second separating Wilhite from Moore. Lap number 2 for Kevin Dick is quick time, 33.233 second lap. That one was a monster. Hunter Waters goes even faster, 33:177. Now let's pick up Johnny Avila on the left-hand side of your screen. He already has 1 lap in the books. He's going to be 5th quick. Also grab Tyler Seville on the right-hand side of the screen. Through 3 and 4 for Johnny Avila. What is lap number 2 going to look like? Can he get to the top of the board and knock Kevin Waters off? Excuse me, Hunter Waters. He does! 33:169. A very nice 33-1 with a 69 for Johnny Avila. That's going to put him to the top of the board. His run is completed, and he's going to bin the car just for good measure here. Pick up Troy Haight on the left-hand side of the screen as A.J. Digby slots into the 6th position. And we'll get Richard Smith on the right-hand side of your screen. Lap number 1 for Troy Haight is on the clocks right now. Richard Smith's first lap is going to be good for 10th quick at a 33:718. The top 8 all within a quarter of a second. Then it's a half second back to Tim Knott and Richard Smith after their first laps. We'll see what Troy Haight, Mike McConville, Max Williams can do. McConville and Williams not yet out on the racetrack. Hold on to it. Oh, big shot into the wall for the 23 of Richard Smith, the second. Lap number 2 is complete. Lap number 2 is complete for Smith. That one does not score. He's going to stay 10th quick. Lap number 1 for Troy Haight, only going to be good for 11th quick at a 33:849, but we've seen about a half second of pickup. Troy Haight, good lap there for lap number 2. He's going to be 5th quick. 33.333. Whole lot of threes there for Troy Haight, but he is going to be good for 5th quick. We'll see what we're going to get here out of Mike McConville and Max Williams. Still 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in qualifying. And I'll tell you what, Patrick, no surprise here. Johnny Avila, Hunter Waters, Kevin Dick, Andrew Moore. The heavy iron is at the front of the field tonight.
Oh, yeah. They're not going to have to fight through any traffic tonight. They're going to be straight dog fight from the time the green flag drops.
Let's pick up Max Williams as he heads out onto the racetrack for his qualifying lap. And let's go on board with Max here as well. Georgia Tech colors on the side of the number 8 here tonight for YJ Esports. The Ramblin' Wreck off of turn number 4, about to get lap number 1 started. way up around the outside of the racetrack. That's big. Get the heat in the tires. Get as much momentum wound up in that thing as you can. Because lap number 2 is where the big one comes into play. Also have Mike McConville getting out on the racetrack, so we'll pick him up here on the right-hand side of your screen. The Gulf Oil colors with the NRN logo on it. That is a thing of beauty. Thank you much, Mr. McConville. Well, it looks like we say that. It looks like Trading Paints is going to update now. Okay, there you go. As you would expect, only the finest of broadcast mediocrity here.
Oh, we can blame that one on Trading Paints, though. That's always fun.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Lap number 2 on the board for Max Williams. Going to be good to go 11th quick. Let's see what it's going to be for Mike McConville here as he comes around to complete lap number 2, and he will be the final car to record a lap. Yeah, might as well get a comment in here from John Moeller as well. Tough to see John not in the race here tonight. Unfortunately, stuck at work. Hate seeing that, but thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. Lap number 2 for Mike McConville is only going to be good for 13th quick at a 33.964. And that will be everybody here in qualifications. Now, they will be able to kind of stay out on the racetrack. It's not like they're, the session's not necessarily going to end. But Patrick, that gives us a little bit of a chance to talk about what we're going to have coming up here. 30 laps is the first stage break. 65 laps is the second stage break. Where this gets interesting, though, is the stage yellow is going to come at lap 30. If you only have 2 sets of tires in the box, that's really not deep enough in the race to want to change them out.
No, but it is early enough to maybe stop in the box, splash up a fuel, and check your tire numbers. iRacing will show you your tire numbers, even just stopping in the box and not taking tires. So you can go take a look at the wear and go, hey, I can push harder than I have been, or hey, maybe I should tone it down a notch.
That's a great point. You get a chance to kind of take a look at what the numbers actually look like, which is really a pretty big one. Like you said, you can push, you got to back off a little bit. It also is going to inform your strategy for later in the race. Maybe you do only take them at the somewhere a little bit past halfway, run it as a 2-tire stint race. Then you get the late yellow, you got a fresh set of sneakers to throw on the car for the big run to the finish.
Yeah, and especially at a track like Homestead, where it's a very, very, I don't want to say tire-heavy track, but it can be depending on what lines you're on. If everyone's running the high side, you've been trying to make passes, you got to dive down low, you can eat away at those tires pretty quickly.
Let's take a look here at the starting lineup for tonight's race. Not sure what happened there with my mic cutting out there for just a moment, but taking a look at things out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Driving car number 63, that Ford Mustang with Bulldog Roofworks on the side for Will Worsler Racing. Johnny Avila claiming the pole position, lining up to his outside, just 7/1,000ths of a second back. Piloting the number 7 Chevrolet for Lost Chevrolet Buick and Hunter's Fried Pickles out of Boonville, Indiana, it's Hunter Waters. On the inside of row number 2, out of Red Deer, Alberta, Canada, custom paints and diecast, Northland Leisure Mint Mortgage on the side of that Chevrolet. It is your number 2 man in the point standings, Kevin Dick. On the outside, from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, piloting the number 77, it's Andrew Moore Jr. Row number 3 is going to have Troy Haight to the inside and Tyler Seville lining up to the outside. Making his return to the series tonight inside of row number 4, piloting the 14 is A.J. Digby. He will line up alongside of Brad Allison. Thomas Wilhite and Tim Knott going to line up on row number 5. Row 6, little bit of a surprise, going to be Max Williams and Richard Smith II. Lining up all alone on row number 7 will be Cape May, New Jersey's Mike McConville for YJ Esports and Shattered Dreams Racing. We talked about a little bit here, Patrick. 117 laps is going to be the distance. The stage breaks are going to be at lap 30 with the yellow, 65 with no caution. There's a whole lot going on here tonight, but first, folks, to start this one off, this is going to be all yours. No surprise, the field's going to be 2 and 3 wide for the race lead down the front straightaway. Kevin Dick takes the lead at lap number 1. My goodness, shoot the gut. How about it? Man, that was fantastic. Awesome. I can handle these guys doing this for the next 90 minutes or so. And one of the numbers we talked about, Patrick, was the number of cautions. With a little bit lighter field, a lot of times maybe you might not have as many of those cautions, and it really becomes a deal where the long game has to be the mentality here, at least to start.
Yeah, I mean, it almost looks like what Johnny Avila is doing is just kind of sit back. If someone wants to fight you for the spot, let him have it and you'll get it back later.
Yeah, Kevin Dick jumping out to a pretty healthy lead, almost 3/4 of a second as we work lap number 3. It'll be interesting to see kind of what the fuel numbers look like. These races pretty typically about in the 2-stop range. And I would imagine that would probably be the case tonight. I mean, obviously, depending on where the yellows fall, you're going to take your stops. But with only 2 sets of tires in the box, you really want to try to make this first set last as long as you can, and then see how the race kind of shakes out from there.
Yeah, I would use this first set up pretty much till they're about ready to fall off the car, and then try to take the short pit maybe and get a jump on everyone.
Well, we saw that last night in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, or excuse me, the TNT Shock Series with the Indy Pro 2000 cars. Kylo Ciacelli made that strategy work almost to perfection, taking 2 short stints, kind of throwing the field off a little bit in terms of where he was trying to push. Definitely made things interesting in how he used the pit strategy, and now that was a timed race, but a lot of the same concepts are going to apply here. 117 laps around Homestead is not a short event.
No, it's about 250 miles, a little more than that actually, and that takes a while to do, even at race speed. You'll be sitting here for a while, and keeping your focus for that long is really the hardest part. Doing it in a real car on the road, it's not so bad, you've got nothing else to do, but on the sim rig, you have so many distractions. You have dogs that bark, cats that want to sit on your lap as you race, might have kids or family in the house, and it's very difficult keeping yourself kind of zoned in.
Yeah, that one was always difficult for me, just the concentration of things. I mean, I've done some 6-hour endurance races where I've run 2- and 3-hour stints in the car, and that's a long time. It's a lot of left-hand turns to be making.
Well, you do the kind of endurance racing where you sit in a prototype car at Indy and kind of just hold the wheel at one hand and then a bear in the other one.
That is correct. But still, then you run into other issues. There's restroom breaks that are necessary and those sorts of things. Let's take a look a little bit deeper in the pack here. We'll bring up the side-by-side boxes. Keep your leaders on the left-hand side, or at least the pointy end of the field on the left. Looking a little bit further back, you're going to have Brad Allison, Richard Smith, Thomas Wilhite, AJ Digby here towards the back of the pack. They were starting to fan out a little bit. But as soon as we do that, Troy Haight coming around the outside of Johnny Avila. This, I would imagine, is pretty big for the Will Worsler Racing Team to have AJ Digby back in the car with them. He's an absolute genius when it comes to the fuel strategy stuff. If he sees the numbers, he knows what number they need to hit to make the windows go the way they want them to. That's going to be a pretty key thing here, is managing the fuel number as much as managing the tires.
Yeah, you don't want to have to miss the fuel number and with 5 laps to go have to stop in for a splash and dash, because then you're a sitting duck out there and you're going a lap down for no reason at all.
Taking a look here on board with Johnny Avila as he has Troy Haight just ahead of him. Interesting, you can kind of hear the throttle blipping a little bit, kind of feathering the throttle on corner exit there. Is that maybe a little bit of that fuel save strategy? Like, I'm not going to get my foot to the floor here?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the more you push the gas pedal down, the more gas the engine's going to use. So if you're just going to feather it a little bit, maybe lift and coast, a bit of Formula One strategy, bring it over here to the stock car side, you can save gallons over the course of an entire run.
Yeah, the big key, though, is you have to start that early. I mean, we've seen Johnny Avila get to the point of shut the car off mid-corner. Not even clutch and coast, but actually shut the car off. They're not quite getting that crazy yet, but obviously doing a little bit in terms of managing fuel strategies here.
Yeah, same thing with anything. Same thing with investing, whatever. The earlier you start saving, the more dividends it's going to pay off. So if you can afford to save it now, do it, because even if you didn't need to and you hit on that lap 30, you're going to be in the box for less time than everyone else, and that means positions on pit road.
Let's see here. Hunter Waters and AJ Digby battling off into turn number 1. Going to be Digby up on the outside of the racetrack, Waters down to the inside, as we continue to follow Avila and Troy Haight on the left-hand side of your screen. The reason we're keeping that up there is because there are stage points on offer here very shortly, almost halfway through stage number 1 already. That picks up 10 points to the stage winner. Avila needs to manage the gap here at a minimum. I think it goes 10-1, so Avila, the difference in 3rd and 4th might only be a point, but it's a difference between giving up 3 and giving up 4 points. When you've only got 10, that's not a lot to play with.
No, it's got a buffer, but it's not a buffer I'd be comfortable with. You might be able to get away with it and let that one position slip, but when it comes to the last race of the season and you're only a point apart, or better yet, you lose the championship by 1 point, you're going to be kicking yourself looking back at every moment like this where, damn, I could have just gotten one more point.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I think we're going to see a lot of the same stuff next week when the series heads off to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Another 117-lap event, stages at 30 and 65, but the big one is going to be coming up on December 14th. Championship night at Phoenix, 175 laps, and it's the open dogleg and all the craziness that comes with Phoenix now. It's going to be interesting to watch how this championship battle shakes out. One mistake over the next 3 weeks, your title hopes could be all but over.
Yeah, this is really where you got to zero down and be perfect. It's hard to ask a driver to be perfect all season long, but you got 3 final races. This is where you got to do it.
Yeah, halfway through stage 1, Kevin Dick has done just that. Easy for me to say. Gains 2 positions after starting in the 3rd position. A big run for Kevin Dick, but we've seen this in the past. The deja vu spidey sense is kicking in. Kevin Dick has run away from the field before, and late in the run has seen them all catch back in. Little bit different case here, knowing you're going to get the stage break at lap 30. But could this be a case of Kevin Dick pushing too hard too early?
It's too early to tell, but he definitely could be. He's running away from the rest of the field. I don't know if he's just worried about the stage points and plans on taking tires in lap 30 or what he's doing, but really he could settle back. He's got 2 seconds back to Andrew Moore, kind of just relax a little bit. But I say that, and Johnny Avila's got the Jaws theme playing on a loudspeaker on the top of that car. And he's made up, what, 2-3 positions in the last lap, and he's chasing down Kevin Dick, so I don't know what I want to do now.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting here because Avila fell back to 4th early. Now, it could be that it's a fixed setup league, so sometimes you have to wait for the setup to come to you a little bit. But he made passing Troy Haight and Andrew Moore Jr. look easy over those last couple of laps. Now he's starting to reel in Kevin Dick. The 5-lap average, a full 1/10 of a second faster than Kevin Dick over these last 5 laps. And that's average per lap. You're going to make up a ton of ground when you're talking a 1/10 and a half every lap.
Yeah, that's not a comfortable gap.
No, 2 seconds is not much. Almost like Johnny Avila's listening to us going, man, I need the points here. I can't give up the stage points. That is, I mean, if you're Kevin Dick, it's a great way to force your opponent's hand. You can kind of be a little bit more aggressive knowing where things stand. I mean, right now, it's a comfortable gap to 3rd place Colton Harvey. It's 32 points between Colton Harvey and Kevin Dick, and Harvey is not in the race here tonight. It was 37 points from Tyler Seville to Kevin Dick. No real chance, unless really bad things happen, of Kevin Dick losing 2nd in the championship. That lets you be very aggressive in terms of the strategy call, and maybe you can try to force Johnny Avila into a mistake.
Yeah, you're really requiring him to push, and Johnny Avila is a guy we know is comfortable pushing, but maybe not this early in the race. And you're going to take him off his game a little bit, and that's hard to do to Johnny Avila, but if you get it done, and it has been done in the past, it can be the difference between winning and losing the championship.
Following the battle on the right-hand side of your screen here, Tyler Seville, A.J. Digby, Hunter Waters in that fight. It's going to be Seville and Digby side by side. Let's bring that one up on the full screen as they're going to go 3 wide through 3 and 4. Working lap number 23, Seville able to clear. Now it's going to be Digby and Waters battling side by side. $90210 is checking in. I don't disagree with this. Part of me likes this track because of all the different possible lines that can be taken. Part of me hates this track because it always gets spread out and I sleep. When you're watching a real World Cup race, it can be tough to keep the eyelids from getting inspected.
Yeah, at this track, I know a lot of drivers who absolutely love driving this track. I am far from one of those drivers. Every time I see Homestead on the schedule, I'm usually checking to see how many drop weeks I've got left, because I just have never been able to figure this track out. I'm always super slow here, end up either in the wall, burning my right front off, and I tip like a really loose car, and I just can't get that to work here at Homestead.
Well, that's where it gets a little bit difficult, and to the point of, I think it was Anthony Alfredo that posted a picture of his real-world car up against the outside wall and his iRacing car against the outside wall, and then Kyle Larson being about 1.5 inches closer than Alfredo was, which was kind of disturbing. But you really can run the outside wall here. You can run the inside lane. There are a ton of options available for these drivers, and in a fixed setup league, if the car's tight, you got some options. If it's loose, you got some options. Although, as we say that, trouble for the 8 of Max Williams. And, oh, how about this? Strategery possibly coming into play here. AJ Digby, well, maybe not. He was on pit lane. Caution is out. Trouble on the racetrack, and it's going to be Max Williams. Oh, man, wow, that is a huge hit for Max Williams. Good Lord.
That was definitely an oucher.
Yeah. Let's take a look here and see what we can see on the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay for the number 8 of Williams. Tyler Seville just to the inside. Oh, he got a little loose. Big hit into the outside wall. Oh, that was tough break for Tim Knott in the 41. That was a big hit for Tim Knott. Let's take a look here and let's go.
Max Williams saying you will not pass, or shall not pass.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Go on board with Tim Knott. Way up ahead of you. You're going to see the car start to get loose. In fact, just now, you can see into the outside wall, trying to get on the brakes. Tough break for Tim Knott. No backup cars. No anything going on with these race cars. Yeah, nowhere to go is right. Seeing that one come up in the comments. But now everybody down pit lane. Oh, Kevin Dick overshoots the box slightly. Interesting. First set of tires coming here. It's going to be the, I think, going to be the stage brake caution. It likely will. But Johnny Avila down and away. He will win the race off of pit road ahead of Kevin Dick. We'll have to get confirmation from race control on when the scoring happens for the stage brake. Will it come at lap 30 if it's under caution, or is it done at the time of the caution? Because if it's done at lap 30, Tim Knott is actually going to be scored as your race leader.
Well, that's a shakeup.
He stayed out on the racetrack, as did Brad Allison. Johnny Avila winning the race off of pit road. Now these two guys are going to come in. So that will promote Johnny Avila back to the head of the field. But yeah, working lap number 28 now. 29, actually. They've completed 28. That's kind of interesting of where does the scoring happen here for the stage break? It's either going to be a 9-point gap or an 11-point gap at this point in the race. Looks like the lights are out on the iRacing safety truck. We're going to get ready to go back racing here. So we haven't hit the stage break. At least I don't think. Fantastic question from 90210. We will get to that one a little bit later after we get the race restarted here, but field is doubled up, and they're going to come back at lap number 29. I wonder if we're going to get a caution here at lap number 30 then, because that's where the yellow would be. All sorts of stuff going on here. We're going to have to wait and see. Pace truck is in. Johnny Avila will lead the field back to the restart zone. Green flags out. We're underway again here at Homestead. Top 5 all single file down the back straightaway. How about Mike McConville, hard charger of the race? He's up 8 positions, now running in the 5th spot. Wonder if some of that may have come through some tire strategy on pit road, but lap 31 is on the board. We'll see if the caution is going to fly, and it does. Stage 1 is in the books, and it will go to Johnny Avila. Make the points battle 11. Here. Interesting. Now, Patrick, I know they burned probably about 1.5 gallons of fuel, if that. Do you come down here and top off under the stage 1 caution brake?
Maybe. One scenario I can think of is, yes, if I'm not in the championship fight, absolutely, I'll top it off. The other scenario I'm thinking is, yeah, I'll pit if I'm confident I can get back up to the front of the field by the time lap 65 hits. Now, with only 11 cars on the grid tonight, absolutely, I think you could probably do it. But that still is a tough one, because even though, you have a spread of field and it's not terribly huge tonight, these are all still very, very talented drivers, so it's not going to be easy picking until you get up to the top 5. You're going to have to fight for each and every one of those spots.
Yeah, and especially with being down to 12 cars on the racetrack. Now, all 12 are on the lead lap. AJ Digby is out of the race. We'll see if anybody comes down pit road. And it looks like we will get a handful here. Mike McConville will lead a train of several cars down pit lane, including Richard Smith, Tyler Seville, Max Williams, Thomas Wilhite, and Tim Knott. So it will make your top 6 for the restart. Avila, Dick, Moore, Waters, Haight, and Brad Allison. Some of these guys playing the strategy game now. McConville down and away. We'll see Tyler Seville going to be pulling out as well. Looks like Seville's going to win that race off of pit lane. So now let's take a look here at the question. I'm pretty sure I know what your answer is to this one, Patrick, but what do you guys think of the idea of removing stage breaks from road courses in the real world? Still giving the points, but not throwing a caution. I am 100% in favor of this.
So what do you think my answer is?
I am going to guess your answer will be something along the lines of, you have one rule book, play by it. If you're going to have stage breaks with cautions, then you have stage breaks with cautions.
No, but I am someone who frequents Lime Rock Park and Watkins Glen, so I'm not unfamiliar to road course racing. I will say the stage breaks make the road courses a little more fun, especially a track like Watkins Glen. Sure, it puts on great racing, but it puts on fantastic restarts. Just all 40 cars trucking up the S's. You know they're going to do that 3 times if you have the stages. Plus, they're probably going to wreck them. You'll do it a couple more times. It's just so much fun. Then the whole field smashing the brakes, going into the inner loop. It's just, I don't know. I'm in favor of the stage breaks, but I can see how you wouldn't be.
Well, yeah, that's the whole. Are you an old school racing purist of you should never have
Now,
never have a yellow unless you can absolutely avoid it? I guess that's the purest point A to point B, but that's also
now,
how
if
you get
IMSA
Richard
comes
Petty winning
along-
by 8 laps. So
Yeah. If IMSA comes along and starts putting stage breaks in their endurance races, I might get a little pissed. But for a short sprint race like NASCAR, it makes the show fun. It's a spectator show. It's not a driver show.
yeah, I would agree with you on that one completely. Green flag goes back in the air. Johnny Avila grabs the early lead. How about Hunter Waters, Andrew Moore going to be side by side? Fantastic battle there for the third position. And now Kevin Dick going to look to the outside. Trying to get back around Johnny Avila. Kevin Dick has led 27 laps here thus far today. Trying to make it 28 at the line. I think he did. Yes, he did, but not by much. I had to wait to see the laps led counter tick up to see who led that lap between Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila. Good battle still here between Moore, Waters, and Troy Haight. They're all going to be very tight together. Yeah, this is sort of where I agree with 90210. At a track like Circuit of the Americas or Road America, the stage breaks become painful. Yeah, that's the place. Watkins Glen, it's not that bad. But a place like Road America, you're talking 4-minute caution laps. That is ridiculous. Now, obviously the Cup Series not going back to Road America, but think about a place like the Chicago Street Circuit. That's going to be painful to watch those laps.
Yeah, if you're sitting at home watching on TV, but even then, my point still stands. That gives you time to get up, go take a leak, go buy another beer, walk back up the stands, get comfy in your seat, and ready to go racing once again.
You could make a bratwurst from scratch in the time it takes to complete a caution period at Road America.
That is very true. I've sat through Lime Rock caution laps, and from the time it took me to get from the hill in the left-hander to the bratwurst cart and back, they've already been green 3 laps. Like, the caution just started. There's no way they got it cleaned up and back to green that quickly. But, oh, yeah, they do. That is one short track.
Yeah, I am looking forward to Thursday night, tomorrow night. Lime Rock Park for the Ezra IndyCar Series. That one is going to be fun. IndyCars blasting around Lime Rock. Somewhere between insanity and good Lord, but...
Please tell me they're running without the chicane.
I believe so.
Oh, man. I might have to join that just to get airborne in the IndyCar.
Yes, go full Mark Webber down the Mulsanne straight from
Oh, yeah. That was my
couple of
favorite
decades ago.
thing this year at Historics at Lime Rock. They had a 1997 Indy Lights car there, and they were running without the chicane going up the hill. The whole open wheel session, I was sitting on that hill watching all the open wheelers come by, and they were all relatively slow, like old 60s Formula 3, Formula 4 stuff. And then this Indy Lights car, you just hear it screaming, it goes up over the hill, all 4 tires airborne, crashes back down and keeps going. It's fantastic.
Have the leaders on the left-hand side of your screen and a great battle deeper in the pack on the right. Troy Haight taking the lead from Kevin Dick that last time through turns 1 and 2. Mike McConville going to be battling with Tyler Seville and Richard Smith II. 90210, NRN Airlines maiden flight. Quite possibly. Yeah. I would love to see the Indy cars at Road America or at Lime Rock in real life. Never in a million years would it happen. But good Lord, would that be fun.
This is just a crackpot idea, but I would really like to see NASCAR Tour Modifieds at Lime Rock. No, actually, I think they did that already, and it's a damn shame they don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Lime Rock has been on their schedule in the past.
2007, that's it.
Oh, I would love to see the mods at Lime Rock. That's another one that would just be fun. By the way, we are ticking off laps here pretty quickly in stage number 2, working to lap number 65. While we have a minute here, let's thank the sponsors of the Sim Racers Club, including SimSpeedShop.com. They're providing the overall champion of the full year-long series that'll wrap up here in just a couple of weeks, a NASCAR-style wheel. Unless something really insane happens and he just no-shows, that's going to be Johnny Avila. After picking up a dominant win in the championship in the spring series and the button box prize that went along with it. Looking like he may be picking up a NASCAR-style wheel for the direct drive unit as well. Fall champion also going to get a button box. It'll be interesting to see if that'll be Kevin Dick or Johnny Avila and what Johnny decides to do with it if he picks up a second one of those. 3 additional button boxes going out as part of the Safe Driver Draw. Thank you very much to SimSpeedShop.com. Northland Leisure putting some cash out for the stage winners. First one going to Johnny Avila here this evening. We'll see here in about 21 laps or so who's going to pick up the prize for stage number 2. Fastest lap of the race coming courtesy of Realty Executives Saskatoon. Best lap of the race belongs to Andrew Moore Jr. right now at a 33.465. A pretty hot lap there from Andrew Moore Jr. We'll see if he's able to hold on to that one through the end of the race. Custom Paints and Diecast putting up the cash for the Hard Charger and the biggest loser. Hard Charger right now is actually your race leader. Troy Haight gaining 4 positions. Biggest loser, that one will go to AJ Digby, who is out of this race now 21 laps down and losing 6 positions in the process, or at least very likely that one's going to go to AJ Digby. Not much going on at the front of the field. Let's get you the close-up here on your race leader. Troy Haight looking pretty darn good here with his 7th lap lead of the evening. His 5-lap average, a 33.9 to a 34.2 for Kevin Dick running second. Even over the 10-lap average, 33.8 to 34.1. That 28 machine is hauling the mail right now. The Wood Father, number 28, Chevrolet Camaro of Troy Haight. Take a look at, let's see. Let's find Max Williams here. This is kind of a whole freight train worth of race cars here. We'll get up on the full screen. Oh man, 90210 is speaking my language here tonight. Another racetrack we're going to visit tomorrow. I'd love to see them at Mosport instead of Toronto. Even though I live in Toronto and the Indy race is only 30 minutes of public transit away. Man, Indy cars at Mosport would be insane.
Yes, but street circuit. Sorry. Street circuit above all.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. Maybe we'll get Wes Shire involved in this discussion. He has a whole list of the different tiers of chicanes. There are different tiers of street circuits. The Toronto Street Circuit, Long Beach, absolutely fantastic street courses. The Chicago Street Circuit, burn it down.
I like the Chicago Street Circuit.
I'm not sure what there is to like about the Chicago Street Circuit.
It's a fun little track. It's not overly long. It's not overly complex. You have the fountain section that's pretty neat. I think it's going to put on some fun racing, but of course we'll have to wait and see what it actually does in the real world.
We need to get 90210 his own show. He is doing far better than you are, Patrick, in the commentary booth. I never understood that term, hauling the mail. You ever driven a Grumman LLV? They can barely haul themselves.
I have been on Gov Deals at least once a month, about ready to buy an LLV. I live on Long Island, where the Grumman plant was, where they built aircraft and trucks, and poisoned the water and gave the entire town of Westbury cancer, but that's a whole nother story. So yeah, they're close to my heart. A little Iron Duke garbage Chevy 4-banger. I think they'd be a fun little daily driver beat-around vehicle. You could fit my go-kart in the back of it. I could take it to the track with that.
I think we just found a new race team vehicle for you.
I think we did. They're only like $3,000. I'll buy one.
90210 saying, that's what's good about the Chicago street circuit. It's not in Detroit. Or Cleveland, for that matter.
No. That's the Cleveland slogan. At least we're not Detroit. You can't just take that and give it to Chicago, because at least we're not Chicago either. Cleveland is not that bad. I miss living in Cleveland.
You might be the only human on the planet that would miss living in Cleveland.
Sorry, the corned beef is to die for over there. Stopped by Slyman's on the way to school. So good.
Oh, little bit of a bobble here off at turn number 2. Let's get back to the action here on the racetrack. I'm not sure if that was the 23 of Richard Smith wiggling off at 2, but somebody got loose and it kind of stacked everyone up. That may be the 41 of Tim Knott. That car is way loose off at turn 4 as well. Things get a little spicy here deep in the pack. Troy Haight holding a monster lead, 1.5 seconds over Kevin Dick. And then it's another 1.6 back to Johnny Avila. Let's take a look. Gonna be about a half second or so between Avila and Andrew Moore Jr. So we're gonna stay right here because, quite frankly, this battle is awesome. Oh, almost contact. Hold on to it. Wow, nice save. Again, I don't know if that was Hunter Waters or Richard Smith, but good Lord. Yeah, that was the 23 of Smith. Oh, man, almost making some contact with Brad Allison. We are getting way spicy here towards the back of the pack. Let's go on board here with Mike McConville on the left-hand side of your screen. Oh, hold on to it. Good Lord, Richard Smith has a handful of a race car out there right now. All right, let's see here. Slide up a little further. Pick up Tyler Seville and Max Williams. They are running nose to tail. Oh, man, things are getting crazy at the front as well. Battle for the race lead. Kevin Dick looking to the inside of Troy Haight off at 2. Kevin Dick going to be
Johnny
able
Vila
to...
is just sitting back watching this happen, waiting for something, going, hey, 65's coming up pretty quick. I'll take a third place here. You boys can duke it out.
Yeah, let's see here. We'll get your race leaders up on the left-hand side of the screen. And follow along. We'll pick up Max Williams here, tailing in behind. Looks like Tyler Seville. As we are going to be down to 5 laps to go here in stage number 2. Last time by, Johnny Avila about 7/100ths of a second quicker than Kevin Dick. He would still have to get past Troy Haight as well. But as it stands right now, the 11-point gap would fall to 9. Mike McConville falling back off of Max Williams a little bit. In fact, into the clutches of Brad Allison in the 0-3. Johnny Avila easily able to clear Troy Haight. And once again, cue the Jaws theme as we're down to 3 laps to go here in stage number 2. And remember, no caution this time unless it's organic. These drivers are going to have 1 set of tires left. They've gone 35 laps on this run. That's about 10 laps longer than they went in the first stint. Almost 10 laps anyway. So I would tend to think here, Patrick, probably in the next 20 or so laps, we're going to be likely to see a set of pit stops here. You can get them out to about 55, 65 laps. You're going to be pretty close to that same number to get you to the end.
Yeah, the number in my head right now is 78 to 80 that I think I would be coming into pit.
Next time by, it'll be 1 to go here in stage number 2. And as it stands right now, it's going to be Kevin Dick picking up the points. He's going to get the one back he lost if he can lead for one more lap. The lead's still sitting at about 1.6 seconds. By the way, YouTube commenters, get some. Let's get some chat going in here with you guys as well. We see the activity on Twitch here, but I'm going to talk to the YouTubers as well. Oh, Mike McConville, Brad Allison battling side by side off at 2 through 3 and 4. Green and white checkered will go in the air this time, and stage number 2 will belong to Kevin Dick. So we're right back to where we entered the night. 10 points separating Kevin Dick from Johnny Avila, your points leader entering the night's race. Avila does pick up a bonus point for leading a lap. As it stands right now, Kevin Dick would get the bonus point for leading the most laps as well. We'll go back to this battle here between Brad Allison and Mike McConville. This is really the only fight on the racetrack at this point. Gaps are pretty sizable everywhere. Hunter Waters, Andrew Moore, Troy Haight. They're all separated by 6/7 tenths of a second here. So we'll stay on this fight, which is going to be for the 8th position. We'll see how good your math is here, Bizzle. Saying we should be about 10 laps away from our final set of stops. And the math is probably about right. Seeing they're about 40 laps in on this stint, and we're down to 50 laps to go right now.
Again, I'm the world's worst crew chief, but I'm still a crew chief, so I can get numbers down. Any pilot's a good pilot if he lands the plane, right?
I think that's a very, very relative term.
Any landing you can walk away from is a good one. So, I think I'm doing pretty good here.
Let's see. Let's work our way back in the field, or up in the field, I should say. Tyler Seville going to be working his way around the 28 of Troy Haight. That car looked very good early in the run. Now losing a bunch of time. The deeper we get into this run, also looks like that's going to be the 23 of Richard Smith getting to the inside of Haight as well. Smith now having the look inside of Andrew Moore. That's going to be an impressive run here for Richard Smith. Now, he did stop about 10 laps ago, so the fresh Goodyears are feeling mighty fine on that 23 machine. Now, once again, this is going to be the only real battle on the racetrack. Tyler Seville, Andrew Moore Jr. This is the fight for the 4th position. Kevin Dick is seeing race leader Johnny Avila start to close in, however. In fact, let's pick up these guys here at the front as Thomas Wilhite going to make his way down the pit lane. Get you the look from overhead here. There you see the gap. It's not a ton as they get to turn number 3. Tyler Seville opening up a pretty solid number here over Andrew Moore as well. Call it 12 car lengths as they hit the start-finish line this time by at lap number 74. Johnny Avila, thus far, excuse me, has been able to reel in Kevin Dick. Kind of what he needs to do. He doesn't necessarily need to win the race. Second is going to be good enough. You know, it's sort of like what we've seen in the World Cup this week. Yes, you can get away with a tie. That doesn't hurt you at all. You want the win, but sometimes you just kind of have to play for that survive and advance.
Yep, just keep yourself mathematically eligible.
Or in the case of Johnny Avila, mathematically ahead. So long as Kevin Dick is right where he is, there's no points gained, no points lost. The first pit stops of the race came under the caution flag. What are we thinking is the difficulty level of getting onto pit lane here at Homestead? You're kind of ripping off at turn number 4, and then all of a sudden it's slam on the brakes and get the thing wound down to pit road speed limit.
It's not too bad here because you have the access road, so you kind of just make the access road and kind of cruise on in. But in stock cars, you don't have to take the access road. So you can see a lot of drivers just kind of jam the brakes off of 4 and dive it in almost like you would at Dover or Darlington.
Definitely gutsy, that's for sure. Working lap number 77. It'll be 40 laps to go this next time by. And it will be 50 laps on the set of tires as Johnny Avila thought about having the peak inside of Kevin Dick into 3. Dick going to slide up the racetrack. You wonder if things aren't going away on the 52 machine a little bit here. And this, Patrick, this is exactly what we just talked about. Patience is truly the virtue here. You don't have to force the issue if you're Johnny Avila. Let Kevin Dick slide up the racetrack. You get right back under him in 1 and 2 and grab the lead.
Yep, and you don't have to force your equipment. You can kind of just sit there and wait and let him burn his stuff up. Now, we are expecting pit stops soon, so maybe you want to grab a little bit of a lead, but you don't want to wreck yourself in the process.
Andrew Moore has been on pit lane. Let's see here. Hunter Waters, Tyler Seville making their way into the pits. So let's bring them up. Waters and Seville on pit lane at lap number 79. Man, Johnny Avila is really starting to open up the gap now. And let's see, is it going to be this time? No, it will not, but it will be Kevin Dick heading down pit lane. So Kevin Dick is on pit lane. Hunter Waters, Tyler Seville making their way back onto the racetrack. We'll pick up race leader Johnny Avila, see where he is going to come out. I am fairly certain you go a lap down in the process. About 45 seconds or so on pit lane. 35-second lap times. So that's a pretty big gap there. But here comes Johnny Avila down pit lane as well. Kevin Dick down and away cleanly, 15.15 seconds. The time of the stop for Kevin Dick. Let's pick up Johnny Avila as he's going to make his way around. Now we'll get through the side-by-side back up here. Where does Kevin Dick come back out in relation to Johnny Avila? Right side work already done. Left side up on the jacks. It's going to be 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles, 2 cans Sunoco fuel for race leader Johnny Avila. He had about 0.6 of a second at the start-finish line. But man, even that 1 lap on fresh tires is going to be enough for Kevin Dick to come out and reclaim the race lead. And he's going to do it by, gosh, I'm going to call it about half a second there. Still waiting on Max Williams, Mike McConville to make their way down pit lane. Get you the race leaders here up on the left-hand side of your screen. Follow the effective battle for the race lead. On the right, as we've got a new fastest lap of the race, Northland Leisure's cash going out the door to Kevin Dick, 33.391. Max Williams, whoa it up, buddy. Almost making contact with the inside retaining wall. That's going to leave only Mike McConville and Richard Smith to come down for their final stops. Kevin Dick coming around Richard Smith. Smith was back on the lead lap after his early pit stop. Max Williams heading back out. Mike McConville will stay on the racetrack. As it stands right now, I believe everybody is a lap down to Mike McConville, almost.
Mike McConville is just sitting. He's in the danger zone, but hoping a caution comes out. And
Yeah, he's hoping caution comes out in a big way because, yeah, there's only 4 cars remaining on the lead lap right now. If a yellow flag comes out, McConville kind of gets a free stop and he's going to trap everybody. And he basically would restart in third behind Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila. It's a bold strategy, though, Cotton. We'll see how it works out for him. Going to stay out. McConville staying out for another lap. You wonder, could this have very late race implications here, Patrick? Because the more laps he puts on his tires now, the fewer he's going to have to run on them late in the race. Oh, hold on to it. He almost binned it off at 2. That may be the end of the experiment for Mike McConville because he just lost a ton of time almost looping that race car. Well, he's going to stay out for another lap here, too. Another lap at least. I guess the strategy of trying to run as long as possible only works if you can get the last stint to be in that window where your tires don't hit the cliff. They just keep getting better and better and better. Once you hit the cliff, you're out of luck at that point, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's that much of an advantage of staying out this far, but you've kind of dug your grave, now laying it. So you kind of just got to see what happens from here.
So we have your current race leader on the right-hand side of your screen. That's Mike McConville. Your effective race leader on the left-hand side, that's Kevin Dick. And here comes Kevin Dick down to the inside of McConville. No more effective about it. Kevin Dick is your race leader. And that basically means just about everybody is going to be back on the lead lap here at this point as well.
Yeah, I don't think the strategy is going to work out.
I wonder if Mike McConville doesn't have a set of tires left. He stopped at lap 27. And he stopped at lap 52. He could be trying to ride out this set of tires for another 27 laps. Oh, that just sounds painful. That would be a full half. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. No, Mike McConville. Yeah, he should still have a set in the box. He stopped at lap 5, taking fuel only. Lap 57 is where he's running 57 laps on this set of tires, excuse me. So we'll see. He's going to have to come into the pits at some point. But Johnny Avila has also come past McConville. We'll pick him up down the front straightaway. So we are down to 26 laps to go, and Johnny Avila doing exactly what he needs to do to claim himself a Fall Series championship here in the Sim Racers Club. Only battle on the racetrack right now between Hunter Waters and Tyler Seville. You see him there, separated by 6 or 8 car lengths off of turn number 4. Things definitely settling in here the later we get in this race. And Patrick, to your point about the stages, competition caution, Jacques Debris maybe making an appearance. It would be fun to see these guys get bottled up from here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Johnny Avila's going over the radio going, hey guys, is one of your arms hurt? I think one of your arms hurt, guys.
Yes, scratch it. Is your arm itchy? Mike McConville finally hits pit lane after a 60-lap run on the set of tires. It was impressive. A gutsy drive, but not going to pay off here in the long run. McConville down and away off of pit lane, 15.28 seconds, the time of the stop. Last lap time for McConville, 44.67 seconds to a 33.999 for Kevin Dick. Oof. Now that does include the time down pit lane, but still, you're talking 37-second lap, 38-second lap. You're giving up almost 5 seconds a lap at the very end of that run. As we mentioned a little bit ago, big stuff coming up here tomorrow night. The Ezra IndyCar Series heading off to Lime Rock Park. That broadcast will kick off at 8 p.m. in the East. So long as we have enough cars anyway. That's kind of been the issue of the last couple of weeks here for the Ezra IndyCar Series. But Lime Rock, fantastic racetrack, and it's a throwback paint scheme night. Best livery in IndyCar history, as judged by me, that somebody is running on their car. You know, modern adaptation of a classic. That will claim a $10 prize, courtesy of the National Racing Network. Following that up at 9:15 in the East, the final round of the season for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, and what, quite frankly, has been a very good season for David Porcelli, is really crazy the deeper you get in the championship standings. Porcelli is your leader by a pretty sizable margin. However, the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th is absolutely crazy. In fact, we won't know who claims 3, 4, 5, 6 in the championship even after tomorrow night's race. Make sure you tune into that one, 9:15 in the East for the Indy Pro 2000 Championship from Mosport. Down inside of 20 to go here. Only 2 races left for the Sim Racers Club after tonight's race finishes up. Next week, we head off to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Another 1.5 miles. Kind of the bread and butter for this next-gen car for a 117-lap race. Then 2 weeks from tonight, we will crown a champion at Phoenix Raceway. McConville, by the way, absolutely screaming around the outside of Tyler Seville and Hunter Waters. The clean sneakers are fantastic. 33.6 for McConville last lap. Race leader Kevin Dick just ran a 34.16. So he's flying. I just don't know that he's going to be able to get back up to the front here. We'll see how many cars he might be able to pass. The other battles, well, it was starting to heat up anyway. Troy Haight and Max Williams, that now has opened back up to about 0.6 of a second as Hunter Waters and Tyler Seville continue to run nose to tail here with 17 laps to go. The gap between the race leaders right now sitting at 1.5 seconds between Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila. The 5-lap averages, now we're starting to get a little spicy here. 34-26 for Kevin Dick, 34-13 for Johnny Avila. 16 laps to go, eating about a tenth out each lap. My math says, Patrick, they're going to come to the line side by side.
I don't think you even need to do math to say that. I just think I've got a hunch, and yeah, they'll probably end up side by side across the line.
We'll keep this battle up. We'll slide over, get Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila on the right-hand side of your screen. The gap is now down to 1.2 seconds. Avila cutting 2.5 tenths out last lap. Remember, with the bonus points and stuff like that that comes with the win, it would narrow the championship gap between Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila. It's currently sitting at 10 points right now. I think it was 3 bonus points for a win, if I remember correctly. So, and then the 1 point difference, you're talking about it being down to a gap of 6. Heading into to next week's race at Las Vegas. Kevin Dick, in a sense, does control his own destiny. Win the races, lead the most laps over these last 3 weeks. He can all but guarantee himself a championship, but it's the hard way to do it.
Yeah, Johnny Avila is going to be sure not to make it easy. His best hope is that Johnny Avila gets caught up in some chaos, and I'm not recommending you do this, but you don't necessarily have to wreck a guy to get him wrecked. You just need to get in his head. Maybe you're both sitting at the back of a pack. Just start pushing him around, give him a tap here, tap there. Just let him know you're there and you're in a big pack of cars, and makes a misstep and championship's all yours. And it's those kind of mind games that you got to play. Racing, especially season long, is a big season long game of chess, and we're at the end game. One move is a checkmate, the other move is the end of your game, and it's kind of where do you play your cards?
Well, and let's also not forget here that these guys are in a little bit of a seen it, done it kind of thing. Kevin Dick, a 49.01 I rating. Johnny Avila, 54.59. I mean, this field is really good, quite frankly, and really deep. Only 4 drivers, 5, 6 drivers, I guess, half the field or so, with an I rating in the 2000s. Not bad. A strength of field of 31.06. These guys at the front know what the heck they're doing. And even so, for a guy like Kevin Dick, he's got 11 laps to go. He's seen about a half second clawed out of the gap. But you can claw all the tenths you want. You still have to get to him and pass him.
Yeah, and that always amazed me. When I first got on iRacing, it was like probably close to 10 years ago now. A guy with a 2000 I rating, you looked up to him like, holy crap, he is the best of the best. And finally, like, what, 2 years ago now, I got a 2000 I rating. I'm like, wow, I'm finally up there. I'm getting good at this thing. And then I'm looking at numbers, reading more how it's done with the average. Wow, 2000 is the old 1500.
Yeah, pretty much. There are guys like me that donate what little I rating we have. But yeah, it's, I mean, the Coke Series guys are up over 9,000 and 10,000 I rating, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But this is, to me, what makes a league like the Sim Racers Club cool. The I rating should tell you, you should be, if everybody's a similar I rating, you should be kind of similar on speed, at least theoretically. We see a lot of that week in and week out from this league. Very few cautions, a lot of talent out on the racetrack, and quite frankly, a group of guys that compete really well together.
Another thing of that, though, is especially in a league race, iRating is not necessarily a number you can go off of. There's guys like me who, now I really don't run official. All I run is my league races. So, when I made that jump from where I was like 1,500, 2,000, I did that over probably 6 weeks because I'd just been league racing with these higher rated guys over and over and over again. So even though my iRating was only 1,500, I was really at a 2,300 skill level racing these guys, and I go out there, run officials, and I jumped from like 1,500 to 2,700 over the course of like 6 weeks, then it kind of mellowed back down to 2,500.
Ooh, hold on to it, Johnny Avila. My goodness. Big save off at turn number 4 with 6 to go. The gap now inside of 1 second. Oh, man, Avila again almost put it in the wall. This has to be so hard. You don't want to give up the race win. You can see the guy just ahead of you. But, man, alive. Oh, man, Kevin Dick having a big bobble there as well. These guys are struggling, and the last thing you want to do if you're Kevin Dick or Johnny Avila is literally throw away a championship with 5 to go in 2 races left.
Yeah, you're really just kind of asking all these guys, hey, move over, please, and block that guy behind me. But none of them are going to do that. They're fighting the stand lead lap. That is fully within their rights, and really, I think within their rights to do all the way till that white flag drops. Once the white flag drops, then lap traffic move on by. But right now, it's still fair game. Caution could come out.
4 laps to go here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. 2 races coming up after this. Can Kevin Dick hold on to claim another win this season here in the Sim Racers Club? Only 1 win this season. 5 pole positions, 6 top 5s, 9 top 10s. He's been impressive. Johnny Avila, just the slightest bit more impressive. 2 wins, 8 top 5s, 10 top 10s. 17-16 is the tally in bonus points with the edge to Kevin Dick. But now it is time to battle with 2 to go. Avila, big run off the corner. The car gets a little bit loose. May have scraped the safer barrier at the exit of the corner. The gap down to a car length and a half through 1 and 2. Dirty air should be less of an issue. We'll see again. Kevin Dick slides just the slightest bit high through 3 and 4. This time by, white flag is out, 1 to go here at Homestead. Avila goes to the Larson line. He's way up on the outside of the racetrack. Gets a big run down the back straightaway. It may not be enough. Kevin Dick down to the inside. Avila going to chase him about a half a car length high through 3 and 4. Off the final corner, checkered flag is in the air. What a save, Johnny Avila. Kevin Dick gets the win.
Avila was trying.
Oh my goodness. Avila was trying and almost threw it away. Trouble for Richard Smith, what looks like right after or at the checkered flag. He loops that car off at turn number 4. Oh, how did nobody drill him down the front straightaway? What a piece of driving. Max Williams almost got him. I think it was Troy Haight that almost got him as well. But your race winner, Kevin Dick. He is going to absolutely burn down that number 52 machine. Another very nice finish here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Kevin Dick gets the race win. Let's take a look at your full race results. Kevin Dick over Johnny Avila by a half second. It was actually closer than that exiting the corner. But Johnny Avila making a great save coming to the start-finish line. Hunter Waters finishing third tonight. A good run there for the Indiana native. Tyler Seville and Andrew Moore round out the top 5. Brad Allison, Troy Haight, Max Williams, the cars that are going to finish on the lead lap here this evening, back to the 8th position. Tim Knott, Mike McConville, and Thomas Wilhite 1 lap down. Richard Smith the second, 4 laps down in 12th. And A.J. Digby rounds out the field in the 13th position. A race that took 1 minute and 11 seconds to get completed. Or excuse me, 1 hour and 11 minutes. Good God. This is turning into a night. 1 hour, 11 minutes for this race that Kevin Dick claims it is about time for us to get ready for the victory lane interviews here. We'll start to get our drivers moved up here, and we'll get everything keyed up here for the replays as well. But let's start our conversations by talking to our third place finisher tonight, Mr. Hunter Waters. And man, I'll tell you what, Hunter, that was an interesting race to watch from our perspective. You guys had a great battle over the last part of that race. Talk us through it. You, Tyler, Andrew, you guys all really having a lot of fun out there. Let's see. Hunter, do you have us here?
I can hear you now, or you can hear me now, I guess I should say.
Yeah, I say now we can hear you. So, yeah, interesting run here for the Hunter's Fried Pickles, number 7. Great battle with Tyler and Andrew late. That had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely knew Tyler is, everybody knows Tyler's great with tire saving. I wasn't expecting to have as good a run as I did on the long run. Didn't really do much practice or anything. Bought a house and moved into that for over the past couple of weeks, so haven't really done much iRacing, so I'm very, very happy with third place. Tyler, if he probably would have had a little more time, I'm sure would have gotten me. We kind of played strategy right. We pitted together, so I'll take the Tire King title for the night from him.
Yeah, that was kind of the interesting thing, was how you were going to make those work. I mean, we saw Kevin and Johnny having issues at the front. It had to be a handful for you guys as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, so first off, Kevin and Johnny, I mean, I feel like I won the other race. Kevin and Johnny were on a different planet tonight, like Mercedes and Red Bull or something like that. But their troubles, I'm sure, was interesting to watch. I'll be glad to go back. I know Johnny was breathing hard and giving us a little bit of commentary of him getting loose, then Kevin getting loose, and back and forth. So, this car at this track is definitely a lot of fun. I tried really, really hard to manage the tires at the beginning portions of the run and everything. And even then, I wasn't going full throttle until, 50 yards. Still experiencing looseness. So it was a handful. It was a lot of fun. Homestead is always a blast for the drivers, I imagine.
All right, bud. Well, congratulations on the third place finish here tonight. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of as well.
Shout out to Law Chevrolet Buick. Shout out to the present members of Will Worsler Racing tonight, and Richard Fletcher. And you guys up in the booth, Sam and George, obviously putting the league on. I look forward to watching this race back. It should be a good one.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And let's bring up our runner-up finisher tonight here, Mr. Johnny Avila. And, man alive, that was That was a handful off of turn number 4. Talk us through those last couple of laps trying to chase down Kevin.
Well, like, my whole plan was just to be patient tonight, so I wanted to pit one lap after Kevin because we're battling for the championship. I wanted a little bit fresher tire. We come out of pit road, I'm like, all right, I'm going to save my stuff. And then Kevin starts pulling and pulling. I'm like, okay, I just need him to start falling off. And the guy never fell off. So then I had to drive like hell, try and catch this man. I'm sideways. I'm like, well, there goes any advantage I had. And then I see him get sideways, and I'm like, okay, I got hope. And then I ran out of time.
Well, that's the best way I've heard that put. It almost sounds like the mental gymnastics going on in your head of, I'm good, shit, I'm not good, I'm good, no, I'm not good, I'm good, no, I'm not good. How do you deal with that? Like, that has to be, the adrenaline's pumping, I'm sure your heart rate's coming up, there's a lot going on there that, quite frankly, guys experience in the real world, too.
Yeah, I don't know how I deal it. I don't think I deal with it that well at all. I'm over here just talking to myself while I'm driving. I had to mute my mic.
Hunter was telling us you were giving him some play-by-plays, and we could hear some heavy breathing coming from Johnny.
you know I'm focusing when you just hear the...
You're going full Darth Vader in the Discord chat. That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, the next thing we got to talk about here, the gap is closing a little bit with Kevin picking up some bonus points tonight. I think the lead is going to be either 6 or 7 heading into next week at Vegas. It's not a game of I can run second to Kevin every week here. You're going to have to take him down one of these next 2 weeks to claim this championship.
Yeah, speaking of the Darth Vader voice, maybe I got to just use the Force and just... Oops, he spun out. No. You know, just a little arrow push on the rear end, no contact.
We were just talking about Clint Boyer here a minute ago. You got an itch. It just so happened to take out your championship rival. Obviously, you're not that kind of driver. Kevin's not that kind of driver. But there really is a lot going on here and a lot to try to keep up with from the driver's seat during these races, because it's not just the race or the stint that you're on, but you're actually thinking about a championship that's 5 months old that you have to deal with.
Yeah, it's crazy for how long this series has gone on, and we're coming down to the last couple of races, and it's like as if the season just started. We're just neck and neck.
We just saw the replay. How did you save that off of turn 4 and not absolutely junk it coming to the flag?
Turn right and pray to Jesus.
That is the correct answer. All right, Johnny, congratulations on the runner-up finish here tonight. And before we let you go, say thank you to all the sponsors and folks watching you out there.
Yeah, I got to thank Bulldog Roofworks. Got to thank all the admins that put this together. It's a lot of fun. You know, thank everybody for the field. It was actually a really good race, really smooth. And then you guys up in the booth. It'd be fun to watch this back and just see me going sideways.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy that show. Enjoy it, bud. Thank you. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And now it's time to talk to the happiest guy in the room, Mr. Kevin Dick. And good Lord, man, a fantastic race, a wild handful of a race car late in this one, but ultimately coming home with a victory and tightening the championship battle. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, that's all it's all about. We're coming down to the end of the season, and I gotta make up those couple points that I just couldn't get at seems like the plate races this year. But it's getting pretty close now, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. We were having a good laugh with Johnny there for a minute about how loose the race cars were and borderline uncontrollable on old tires. You had a pucker factor Zulu moment trying to come around some lap traffic. Talk us through those last couple of laps, because that had to be crazy. Johnny's closing in on you. You're trying to pass lap traffic. The car sucks. That's a lot to deal with.
It is. For the run or whatnot, I was just trying to plan out, how hard do I push, just to go like 40 laps to make sure I got tired at the end, but, trying to keep a decent gap between me and Johnny. And I know, like, towards the end of the run, I know he would close up. but it was just trying to, minimize how much he would be able to close up. And just before I got to that lap car there, I know Johnny got real loose coming off of 4, and I figured, okay, well, this is in the bag. I got this. But then coming out of 4 next lap under that lap car, it just got ever so loose, and I'm like, oh man, don't give it away.
Yeah,
And
that's
just from there on. I was just fighting.
That has to be the really hard part. Is you're not just thinking about the race in that moment. I would imagine a little bit you're seeing the championship as well. The gap is closing. It should be down to 6 or 7 points. You really do control your own destiny over these next 2 weeks. Couple of wins, couple of pole positions, and this championship is going to be yours.
Yeah, and just keep doing what I've been doing these last 3 weeks, and just hope to be there at the end. As long as I don't do anything stupid and take myself out, and yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, don't step on it is the way to explain that one. Well, I'll tell you what, Kevin, congratulations, picking up your 2nd win of the season, 7th top 5, 10th top 10. It was an impressive night for you, and most laps led, which gets you another bonus point as well. Congratulations on the win, and before we let you go, do all those sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, give a shout out to the guys at Pie-Eyed. And me and Andrew are sticking strong and having a great time. Give a shout out to Custom Paints and Diecast, Jordan there. Shout out to Sam, great admin for running this league, and to you guys up in the booth.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And man alive, I'll tell you what, Patrick, that was we saw a show, but it sounds like the drivers were feeling as much of that as of what we were seeing.
Yeah, they all sounded out of breath, worn out. They had a blast tonight, and just like we did. That was so much fun. Cars sliding around everywhere, good hard racing at the front, and one hell of a points battle we got to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, there's so much to look at here over the next couple of weeks. We'll be running some numbers and seeing kind of where we can find some of these drivers in other leagues and their performances at those racetracks. And if there's a driver that may have an advantage, we'll tell you all about it here coming up next week from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Just 2 rounds left here in the Sim Racers Club for the 2022 season. Coming up tomorrow night on the National Racing Network, it will be the Ezra IndyCar Series at 8 p.m. IndyCars at Lime Rock, that one's going to be wild. Followed by the Indy Pro 2000 Championship, their final race of the season, coming up from Mosport. I can't wait. I love those cars. Mosport is a bad, fast road course. Just a perfect place for them to close out their season. We'll crown David Porcelli as the champion and have a really wild battle for 3rd through about 7th or 8th in the points to tell you about. All that coming up at 9:15 in the East tomorrow evening. Then we're right back here next Wednesday. Hope you guys are joining us here for the race at Las Vegas. But with that, it is time for us to get the heck on out of here. Thank you all very much to the sponsors of the Sim Racers Club, SimSpeedShop.com, Northland Leisure, Realty Executive Saskatoon, Custom Paints and Diecast. We appreciate your support. And with that, we are getting on out of here. For Patrick Byrne and everybody else here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.